Hey guys, it's Bill, One Happy Diabetic here today, and we're going to be talking a little bit about CGMS devices, continuous glucose monitoring systems. So what are some of the advantages? Well, just think about it. Wouldn't you like to know what your blood sugar is doing on a consistent and regular basis? And what I mean by that is, some of these devices out there, one by Abbott called the Navigator, you can get your readings once every minute. Other devices like this one, being the Dexcom, which I'm currently using right now, you can get your readings every 5 minutes. And same with the Guardian by Medtronic. So what are some of the advantages to that? And really, what are the benefits of how you can use that to better manage your diabetes? Well, here's some tips of the reasons why I like to use my continuous glucose monitor, and hope it helps. Well, one of the great benefits is have you ever been in this situation? The situation where you didn't know what your blood sugar was? Or when maybe you thought you were getting low and you didn't check your blood sugar, but you still treated it as if it was a low, but you really should have checked your blood sugar. And remember guys, never guess, always check. What I really love about the ability to be able to see the trends in what your sugars are every minute or every 5 minutes, and though these devices aren't as accurate as actually finger pricking and testing your blood sugar and those meters, it's always great to just have an idea of where your blood sugar is. Instead of you having to guess, I let this do the guesswork for me. And though I do always, especially when I'm low and especially when I'm going to treat a high or correct a high, I always make sure to check and do a result on my meter so I can get the most accurate correction. It's always good to know what direction I'm heading in. And it can be so useful in so many different areas. Here's a couple of the areas that it might be useful for you. Well, one of the areas that it's so beneficial to me in having a continuous glucose monitor is the ability to figure out and do a couple experiments, I guess you could say, with how my blood sugar reacts to emotional things that are going on in my life. Whether I'm really nervous and I was taking a test, or maybe I was really stressed out in a certain situation or in a sales call and I got really passionate about what I was saying, my blood sugar dropped 20 to 30 points. I never knew that before. I knew that my emotions, had effects on my blood sugar, but I never knew how dramatic they could drop. But it was always so interesting to me to look back on my continuous monitor and be able to see what actually happened in those situations so that I could better prepare myself for them. So one of the cool things is that knowing if you're going to be in an environment like taking a test where you might be a little bit nervous, it's always great to know what happened when you were in that situation and be able to look back. Having the ability to go back and look at your monitor after, let's say, taking a test, it's so great to be able to see what exactly your blood sugars were doing while you were taking that test. Not testing before and then testing after, but what was happening between then. When I take a test or when I'm up in front of a group of people and I get a little bit of a nervous feeling, sometimes my blood sugar drops about 30 points. So what I'm able to do then is, now knowing the situation, having seen the results with my monitor, I'm then able to better prepare myself for the next time that happens. So I know the next time that I have a presentation at work, I'm going to be able to do a couple grams of carbohydrates prior so that my blood sugar doesn't get low during the presentation. And that helps out immensely. To be able to see what happens to your blood sugar when emotional things happen, I really think is an amazing thing. One of the other really big advantages of a continuous glucose monitor is the ability to see what your blood sugar is doing at night. Most diabetics recognize that their first blood sugar in the morning, or blood sugars in the morning, are their most important because that can really predict how the rest of your day is going to be. Well, the great thing about continuous glucose monitors is the fact that you'll be able to then see what actually your blood sugar is doing between 2 and 5 a.m. Because listen, not everybody's getting up and really checking their blood sugars at those times, but it's a great thing to go back and then look at. Now, if you're using an insulin pump, it's such a great opportunity for then you to fine-tune your basal patterns for your nighttime. For those of you diabetics that have hypoglycemia unawareness, or maybe don't feel your symptoms coming on quick enough, or don't even recognize your symptoms at all for high blood sugars and low blood sugars, a CGMS device is great because it has alarms. Now, you have the ability to set your alarm threshold. For example, on my Dexcom, I actually set my alarms for 80 and 160. Now, that might be a tight range for some, and it really is for me, but I like to get an alarm when I know my blood sugar's getting over that threshold. So what's probably the biggest disadvantage of CGMS devices? Well, probably the biggest... Money, 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 money! That's right, guys. The biggest disadvantage to most people is the money associated with it. The initial fees for some of these devices can cost between $400 and $2,000 just to get the device. And monthly supplies can range anywhere between $5 to $10 a day. And that can cost up to $300 a month. That's a lot of money. And the other biggest disadvantage, too, associated with the money, is the lack of insurance coverage. It's sometimes very hard to get these devices covered by insurance. It's getting better, but it's not great.
I just took her blood sugars about 20 minutes ago. They were 24.
Okay, what is she normally?
Well, they're supposed to be 75 to 130, and when she just continues to drop. I gave her like 140 grams of sugar, so that should bring her back up. She's going to need an IV push. She's a brittle diabetic, and doctors worry that too many of these are going to give her a stroke or...
Looks like she's fixing low.
Yep.
Right on the corner, Oriole and Cleveland.
But she's had diabetes for so long that, you know, she can't tell they come on. She's got diabetic
It's that
unawareness.
fast, okay.
Hey Joe, I'm gonna get that IV started, okay?
Little pork, Joe. $30. You said Joe. Do you want me to ask any questions about history and all, or you already know all that?
No,
Okay. Obviously, she has a history of diabetes. Anything else that we need to know about?
No, that's it.
Okay. Respiration's 8.
I know she's one that doesn't come back up and stabilize.
Two respirations in difference.
Joe, come on, Joe, stay with me, okay?
What I really suggest to you guys, if you really want a CGMS device and you're not getting that initial coverage up front from your insurance companies, make sure to follow through with appeal letters. And not just one, not just two, but until you get some coverage, keep on writing those letters.